Yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, if I see it, I cop it, yeah, hey, yeah, let's go,
We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
Yeah, if I see it, I cop it. Running through stores, if I see it, I rock it. Yeah, girl, if you see it, I got it. Run it up more, we need all the profit. 100 racks back up in summer 16. Spent that whole bag on a whole summer dream. Life's complicated, no Avril Lavigne. Copped a new condo to blow us some steam. All these rappers just rapping in triplets. Pushing that product, just got a new shipment. Pushing that road 50 over the limit. Cushion that blow, I don't get why they
What up, fam? Welcome to 818. Come on in, tell your friends. Pinch your nips. Some late night Swoleo.
Back me a real one and gave her my name. All of these issues, but no one to blame. Praying that God will just show me the way. Changing the game, got the source code, and I'm off road, and my horses go skirt. One in the same day, of course, no, we in first, yo, all my niggas, we were. Fake in the fame, but we all know, cause the source told all you niggas just learn. Talking and saying y'all pseudo, and it's true though, y'all just popping them perks. Taking the stage, got a few shows left.
All right, fam, let's do this. I'm fucking hungry. Time for daddy to eat. Let's go.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, test ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 818 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancatch, and bitchcast in the realm. Because when I say pinch your nips and go to sleep and eat some beef, you pinch your nips, you go to sleep and eat some beef. No, I'm just kidding. When I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Happy Thursday, throwback Thursday, thirsty Thursday, whatever you do. Hopefully you're thirsty for some sick fucking gains and not for being a fat, lazy asshole. And we have some cool topics. I'm sure we'll get into it. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more specific, but we're going to talk generally about some nutrition. We'll talk about some nutrition shit that's going down. We'll talk about some training shit that's going down. We'll talk a little bit about high intensity training and also some nutrition shit. And we've talked about a lot of this stuff before, but let's talk like real nutrition. And I want you right now, I want you to throw out all the ideas you have about nutrition. I want you to forget what you were taught when you were 3. I want you to forget the commercials you've seen on TV for decades. I want you to forget about the business of nutrition. Forget about the business of food. Forget about the business of health. And let's think about what really leads to health and how we can actually measure that, how we can actually quantify that insofar that we can use that for good information in order to live healthier fucking lives. And that's really the be all and end all of what we should all be doing. We should be pursuing health, right? We should be pursuing health. We should be looking to be healthier. We should be looking to do better. We should be looking to do better by our bodies, right? In terms of fitness. We have to try to do better. That's our goal. Better every day. A little bit better. A little bit better. A little bit smarter. A little bit wiser. We learn things, right? If you're doing an elimination diet, if you're doing any kind of new training protocol, we have to learn and move on. And we get too caught up in comparing shit with things that don't matter. We'll talk about a bunch of philosophy and some philosophical thoughts and concepts on nutrition, but it makes a huge difference because this is how we measure it. This is how we discuss this at a social level. And right now, we're just talking. Right now, we're just talking. We're human beings talking, but you're going to see it in the comments. And you're going to hear it come up over and over again, these cliches and these things that we've just said. And we've always said it a certain way because that's how we've always said them. And there's a problem when we just do things the way we've always done them because that's the way they've always been done. Nothing changes. We don't learn. We just get stuck in a rut. And we've been in this rut for a long time. We've been in this rut when it comes to health. We've been in this rut when it comes to how we're eating and what fucking causes these problems. And the signs are second to none. There shouldn't be any real confusion that what is being recommended to people in terms of nutrition, what is being recommended to people is complete garbage and has been for decades. And that has led to a lot of problems. That's led to a lot of our parents having major issues, right? Diabetes, heart disease, metabolic syndrome. And it's this big push for artificial oils and refined carbohydrates. And that's really been the big killer. It's not fat. It's not animal protein. It's not being a vegan. It's not pollution. It's not any of these things. It's the fact that we're eating shit that takes us on this insulin roller coaster that causes these fucking diseases. I mean, fucking diabetes. Diabetes is a disease. It's a disease. It's a sugar disease. You don't get diabetes if you're not consuming fucking sugar. You don't get diabetes if you're not eating carbohydrates. You're not. And your body can survive very, very well without them. So why is there still a lot of pushback when there's been success, right? Why is there still a lot of negativity around eating animal proteins, right? Why is there a lot of negativity around eating high fat? Why is there so much negativity when there's so much positivity in the results, right? What are we looking at here? And I'm not going to sit here and throw around studies, this, that, and the other, because we all know the studies are cherry picked. The studies are even false. The studies are falsified, or they're extrapolated from bullshit actual tactics, or they're biased, or they're funded by opposing interests, by things that will not lead to an accurate conclusion. Okay, there's too much extrapolation with science. And the issue with that is science is black and white. Either something happened or something did not happen. That's what a hypothesis is. You're trying to prove whether or not one thing actually occurs in a study, okay? You do a study and you're trying to show whether or not something happens. Hey, we're going to see if this happens when we do this. Okay, did it happen? Yes or no? Well, kind of. Okay, explain. Well, we showed positive results. We showed negative results. We showed this much more, this much, and here's the result. Not here's the answer. Not, oh, meat is good, meat is bad, vegetables are good, vegetables are bad. No, it just shows a result. And we don't have a lot of those tests that can really relate to health. So what we have is all these ideas about nutrition that are coming from really anecdotal sources, just from people you've talked to. And the issue is we have these clashes with the common conversations, the conversations you have with people that you know have lost tons of weight, people like myself who report feeling so good and being so high performance and X, Y, and Z, eating a certain way. You just hear it from people. You hear it on the news, you hear it all over the place. But we're comparing these real world effects and these real world stories, and we're comparing them with faux science, fake science, extrapolated or interpreted science, social stigmas, things that we'd like to believe is true, things that we've been bombarded with in terms of marketing, right? Fat's bad. Drink milk, it does the body good. And all this crap that is not even, it's not only not true, it's a fucking straight up lie. It's absolutely not true at all. And because we've been so indoctrinated, and the same problem with nutrition and health is the same problem with religion. When you're taught something when you're 3 fucking years old, that a man comes down from the sky and there's this being and God, and I'm not knocking anyone's religion. I really don't care what you believe in. But we believe, I mean, Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, these are all things that we cannot prove and we just literally make up, but we believe them. As children, we believe they fucking exist. Religion is just the adult form of, religion's the adult form of Santa Claus, of the Easter Bunny. It really is, right? It's believing something that we can't prove. And I'm using this not as like a religious, like versus atheist or agnostic. I'm not using this I'm just using this as like a human psyche talking point, because it's true. It's true. There's no proof of this stuff, right? So it's amazing what we believe and what is ingrained in our brains when we're young and how we just can't shake it, right? We can't unlearn some of this shit. We just know it. We've always been taught it. We've always been in a situation, an environment around it, and we can't undo it. And it's very hard to undo some of this shit. And the same thing is, it comes with nutrition. So when you're taught something for years and for decades or your entire life, it's hard to comprehend anything else. Like, how could that not be true? I haven't heard anything otherwise. Well, just because they've been throwing milk ads in your face for 50 years doesn't mean that milk is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying just because they spent billions of dollars on ads doesn't make it a good product. Okay, if they did that for cyanide, the great cyanide campaign, cyanide, it does the body good. We'd be sucking down cyanide and all of a sudden, oh, wow, it does kill people? Oh, shit, I didn't know that was related. I mean, we have to look at the actual facts. We have to look at the fact that people are getting more sick. When they implemented these changes of low carb or low fat and replace them with carbs, people have gotten exponentially more sick. Exponentially more sick. Diabetes, everything is off the charts. Okay? And this doesn't happen in people that are cutting out carbohydrates. That's why my diet is very, very low in carbohydrates. I'm practically borderline carnivore. Like, I really just eat primarily meat, protein, and fat. That's pretty much what I do. And the only reason why I discuss this so much is not that I'm like funny, I'm like, oh, bacon, this. I'm not trying to push this in anyone's face. I literally share what I do. I share what I execute on, right? This is what I'm practicing, and I'm pushing it more and more towards meat only, towards more carnivore, and I just keep on feeling better. I miss the carbohydrates, even sweet potatoes, less and less. I'm just missing things less. And I want to use that as kind of a talking point in terms of how we measure health. Like, how are we measuring our performance? How are we measuring how we feel? How are we measuring the result of what we're doing? Are we only going by a blood test? Are we only going by vitamins, by minerals, by things that we're finding in a snapshot in one single day based on our entire health, like how we feel? Are we ignoring how we actually feel? Are we ignoring all the other variables like exercise, like stress management? Are we just completely ignoring common sense and observation? That's what I think we're ignoring. We're looking at numbers and it's just like the counting calories I've been talking about for so long. If you eat the right shit, you don't have to count shit. If you are going by numbers, you're going by numbers printed out on a piece of paper. And you're going by these numbers that say, oh, you're healthy. Oh, you're not healthy. Take this drug. They just want to give you drugs. They just want to give you statins. They just want to give you things. They just want to give you things so they can make money. They make money off giving you fucking drugs. If you go to the doctor with a problem, they're excited. They want you to have a problem. I'm not saying the individual doctor wants you to be sick, but the industry wants you to be sick. They want you to go. Hell, if you don't go to the doctor, no one gets paid. So it's good if you get sick. Like, who the fuck doesn't understand this? Who doesn't understand? It's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy because there's no one hiding anything. It's fucking right there in the open. We're all just walking into it every fucking day. We're begging to be scammed. We're begging to be fucked in the ass. We're just asking for it. We are literally asking for it every day. Okay? This is a business. This is a business. If you don't go into Walmart to buy their shit, Walmart goes out of business. All right? They're not going out of business because everyone still goes to fucking Walmart. If you go to a store to purchase things, it keeps them in business, correct? Yes. If you don't go to that store and give them money, they aren't going to stay in business. They go out of business. The doctor is a business. Medicine is a business. There's a lot of great things in medicine. There are a lot of things that we have created that can help us get better. But I'm asking you, you don't need shit to help you get better if you're not getting sick to begin with. If you're not fucking yourself up by eating garbage, you don't have to fix yourself. If you're sucking down pizza and you're drinking soda and you're eating fast food and you're eating chips and you're drinking alcohol and you're just fucking pounding this shit, Yeah, you're going to be on some medication. You're going to be fucking banged up when you're older. You really are. You're going to be fucking banged up. If you don't take care of your health, you're going to pay for it later. They want you to. It keeps them in business. It keeps them in business, so they don't really want to find out the truth. And this is where all the money is. So it's not really a conspiracy. It's just, would you invest in a study, or would you support a study, or would you allow a study, or would you have an open discussion about something that could put you out of business or affect your business drastically? Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't, right? If you had a sock company, like literally if you sold socks, socks, shoes, socks, if you sold socks and there was an amazing thing that came out and you could do all this research showing that, oh, socks are really bad, you should never wear socks. Are you going to be funding the study to find out, oh, we shouldn't be wearing socks. Okay, I'll go out of business, bye. No, you're going to be refuting that. You're going to be denying it. You're going to be shoving it under the table. If you have more money, you're going to fucking push it out. You're going to buy some patent, or you're going to create some studies that show that socks are great or something like that. You're going to do whatever you can to stay in business. And that's what these people are doing. That's really what's going on. Well, doctors do. Yeah, they do push products. No, doctors, that's a fact. Doctors actually do push products. Holly is saying that she believes doctors push products. They absolutely do. That's what sales reps do. Sales reps go to these doctors. They give them samples of medicine. They talk about why their pill is so good. And they convince doctors by buying them lunch and dinner and, whatever, the under table jerk without fucking crossing any quote barriers, right? Legal barriers, which is such fucking bullshit, right? It's pretty much bribery. And then they start they start prescribing their drug. If the rep was successful and they say, okay, we'll push this blood pressure medication or this X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. And yeah, they do push certain products. And then what the reps do is they keep on trying to encourage the doctor to write more scripts. So someone comes in, oh, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. Well, you might have high blood pressure. And then guess what? If the doctor's trying to push more prescriptions, then what they might do is maybe they expand, how high the blood pressure has to be. Maybe they start prescribing it if someone's pre-hypertensive rather than really full blown. Or no one's talking about nutrition. No one's really talking. And they'll talk about nutrition, but as far as medical doctors understand nutrition, which is fucking dick shit. They don't understand. They don't know. They were never taught. So a doctor is kind of like a regular human being that just doesn't know. You have to do your own research. There are more people that know about this shit online that just spend time looking stuff up. And when you look up all these things, you'll start to see behind the stage. You start to see what's really going on. You start to see the nightclub during the day, which looks like fucking shit. By the way, if anyone has ever worked at a club and they saw it during daylight hours, it looks like crap, right? There are so many things that we can uncover. All these documentaries that come out that try to demonize meat. It's not true. The studies that they're using are fucking hoaxes. These documentaries have been disproven over and over again. It's all propaganda. Everyone has a fucking agenda. Everyone's got a fucking agenda. But the only agenda that isn't really discussed enough about is, what are you eating and how do you feel? How is your health really? How is your health really? Are you riddled with anxiety? Are you super fucking stressed out? Is your skin quality poor? Are you really weak muscularly? Are you stiff? Are you exhausted all the time? Are you bloated? Are you fat and out of shape? Are you storing fat and tons of cellulite in certain areas? Are you just really, your hormones are out of fucking whack? Why don't we start getting a little bit more realistic? Let's take a look at someone and see, oh, are they healthy or not? And I don't need a doctor to tell me that I'm healthy. What does healthy mean? What does healthy mean? Tell me what healthy means. When your blood pressure is, that doesn't mean you're healthy. What is actual health? How are they measuring your health? How are you measuring your health? That one day, that one time you go to the doctor every couple years or once a year, and they look at some blood work that they took. It's literally taking a picture. Have you ever seen those things where they take a picture a day and they do like a montage and they show the person and how different someone looks every single day, even when you take a picture every single day? If you take a picture of yourself every single day, you're going to look very, very different from one day to the next, noticeably, right? But then they do that cool like flip book where they cycle through the pictures really fast, and the person, you see them kind of changing and morphing. Maybe they gained weight, lost weight, changed their hair color, stuff like that. Hair's getting longer, beard's getting longer, then they shaved, and it's like a year really quick montage. So think about how that is with blood work. When you go in to get your blood work done Tuesday at 7 or, let's say 11 a.m. Okay. You go in on Tuesday. That's one snapshot. That's one picture. That doesn't show what your blood looked like at 6 p.m., at 11 p.m., Wednesday morning at 4 a.m., Wednesday evening, the next Thursday, the next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You don't go back for another year or maybe a couple years, and everything that you're doing, whether it's medication, whether it's what the doctor tells you, is all based on what happened on that one fucking moment at that one fucking time when they took a little bit of blood out. There have been several studies that show, the blood looks different. It's literally like a picture. The blood fluctuates. Things and elements in the blood fluctuate at different times during the day. Cholesterol fluctuates, whether you've eaten or not. There's different levels of cholesterol. So you happen to go in and you haven't eaten, right? You haven't eaten all day. So you're fasting before a blood test. Well, cholesterol is going to be higher in the blood. All of a sudden you got high cholesterol. Oh, you better take this medication. Maybe you just haven't had carbohydrates and your body is releasing cholesterol. And cholesterol is a precursor for testosterone. So it's not the enemy. All these things we've been fucking taught. It's not true. There has to be an entire picture of your life. There has to be this overarching, individuality and approach. That's why it's so important for you to take care of your health. That's why it's so important for you to address your health and take responsibility for it. That's what I'm trying to push on everyone, right? I'm trying to push the interest. I'm trying to make you interested in your fucking health. I'm trying to make you interested in your nutrition, in your body. You have to be interested. You have to take stock. You have to invest in yourself because no one's going to do it. The fucking doctor's not going to do it. Doctor's not going to do it. The medical industry, the medical fucking machine, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about you. It would be nice to think so, right? Oh, well, they care about me. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. Your doctor really cares. Your doctor really cares. He sees you for 10 minutes, maybe once a year, maybe if you're sick. I haven't been to the doctor in a few fucking years. I don't even remember. Why? Because I'm healthy. Because I'm healthy. What, I'm sick and I just don't know it? I'm really, really sick. My body is so unhealthy. Oh, everything, all my blood levels are so far off. That's why I'm feeling fucking amazing. I'm healthy. That's why I'm not at the doctor. Because I'm healthy. You go to the doctor when you feel like fucking shit. And once in a while, right? There's nothing wrong with getting blood work done. But what test tells you that you're a healthy person? None. Zero. That's the scary part, is we put all this stock into these fucking numbers, and it doesn't mean that you're healthy or unhealthy. I love my new doc because he's against prescribing pills. Yeah, he's against prescribing pills. Well, he's a poor doctor then. There are a lot of doctors that are leaving the industry or changing. Now with technology, you have so much ability to kind of break away from it a little bit, but they're definitely shunned. They're definitely not, they're definitely not of the popular kind. My health insurance requires a yearly checkup. Yeah, and we live our life based around whether or not our job gives us health insurance. How many of you are fucking tied to your job because, but I get great health benefits? Fuck. That's the worst reason to stay at a job. It's the worst fucking reason. Rather than take care of your health and do something you love, people stay in fucking jobs and shit based on the health care that it provides. Fucking health care. It's sick care. They don't want you to be healthy. You can take your health into your own hands. I'm not telling anyone to quit their job and get rid of their health insurance. But if you're healthy, guess what? When you get sick, you go to the doctor. Get catastrophic insurance. And then if you get hit by a car, then it'll pay out. Because, not drinking soda is not going to help you if you get hit by a car. Hey, but I never drank Pepsi. Well, you still got a broken femur. So that's that. But yeah, you can go get blood work done. That's fine. But that's the problem. That's the problem with the healthcare. That's the problem with everything that we're dealing with. We're forced to pay for healthcare when we're not taxing the system. I'm not taxing the system. I'm getting, I get penalized, or I have to pay premiums and this and the other because I don't have health insurance, or it's going to cost me more. For me, it's cheaper to pay a penalty for not having health insurance than to pay for fucking health insurance. I mean, it's so fucked up, and I'm the healthiest person that I know. So I'm not even using the shit. Oh, great, I have health insurance. Fantastic. Now I can just pay money for no fucking reason. I can pay money so other sick people that are not taking care of themselves get fucking more medication and strain the system more. It's like, awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. Great. 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 I can pay for someone else being a fat, lazy fuck. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. Yes, government-funded healthcare sucks. It should be privatized. It should be in the market. It should be capitalistic in nature. We get better prices. We would get better fucking prices if there was competition. Better prices. We would. We would, like any business. There'd be better prices for everyone. Anytime the government gets involved, shit gets expensive, fam. Shit gets more expensive. Stifles growth. That's just like economics 101. This week I had a bad week and I hated my job. Went to my cabin to decompress. Nice, I guess. At least you got a cabin to decompress in. What are your thoughts on vegan, vegetarian? If you are a vegan and vegetarian and you feel like it actually improves your health, I mean, go for it. I don't think it's natural for human beings to be vegans. I don't think it's the way it's supposed to be at all. Notice I use the word think. That's just logic. That's just logic and common sense. It's not how we've developed. It's not how we've grown bigger brains and taller and strong. It's from meat. It's from protein. It's not from fucking eating beans and grass. So those are my thoughts. It doesn't mean that someone can't survive being a vegan. That's the big difference. Well, look at this person. They ate this. Yeah, all right. Some people are naturally great at basketball, and some people will suck at basketball. Some people will try being vegan and feel sick and feel nauseous, and some people can live their entire life being vegan. It doesn't mean that vegan is good just because you have one example of someone who is a bodybuilder that, oh, he's a vegan. Oh, okay, cool. He also shoots steroids in his ass. So that'll make anyone big, whatever kind of nutrients you're getting. So those are my thoughts on it. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I love it. I found a great functional medicine doctor. She loves your nutrition jumpstart plan. Very cool. Awesome. I'm glad we got support for the NJ. What are your thoughts on sourdough bread? I don't eat bread or grains, but I've heard of probiotic qualities in this type of bread and the way it's made. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't eat any kind of bread. I don't think that's something that we should be eating either. Processed carbohydrates. There's a big school of thought and approach that you only need probiotics if you're eating things that fucking cause you to need probiotics. If you're eating the right foods, you're not going to need to balance out gut bacteria in your gut biome if you're eating foods that your body should be consuming. And that's, again, it's just more of a common sense approach. I'm not saying that's correct, but I wouldn't eat sourdough bread. The only way would be for you to try it and see if you actually like it or feel better. I mean, you have to everyone's always trying to go back to eating bread. These things are very addictive. This insulin roller coaster and carbohydrates, it's very, very hard to get away from. But if you're eating substantial amounts of protein and fats, you're not hungry for the carbohydrates. You're filled up. And the reason why I talk about it, and I talk about, like, for me, when I'm eating a lot of food and I'm eating a lot of meat and fat, I'm eating a lot of animal proteins and animal fats, I just don't care about the carbs. I get full. I don't want to. The salad doesn't look appealing to me. A salad doesn't have enough nutritional value. I'm not getting anything from some fucking spinach. You know how much spinach you have to eat? And a lot of times we're trying to, eating a balanced diet is not really how a human being has evolved. There wasn't really any such thing as a balanced fucking diet. What does that mean? That's a first world problem. Like, oh, we have so much food we can choose from. Let me eat a little bit of everything. I don't think that's the way to go. I'm not saying that to be a carnivore is the best way, or to be vegan is the best way, or worst way, or vice versa. But there were seasons, right? You would eat what you had. You would hunt. You would kill animals, and you would eat them, and you would engorge in them, and then you'd have to fast probably, and then you'd be hunting them. I mean, you didn't just have, I think I'll have a nice, well-rounded platter. You fucking ate food, and when you could eat it, you ate until you felt probably fucking sick, and then because you weren't going to eat for a while. You had to hunt it down. Killing a buffalo or a mammoth or something like that, that took a lot of time, and you didn't have a refrigerator. You couldn't pack it away in a deep freezer. You had to fucking eat it or smoke it or do whatever the natives did, and the ancient Africans and all this stuff. So there's nothing like, I never feel the same way I feel when I have red meat, when I have a steak, when I have animal protein, animal fat. I haven't even had eggs in a while. I just haven't craved it. But I always crave beef. I always crave the grass-fed beef. I always crave the skirt steaks, ribeyes, my beef liver, my grass-fed beef, and my organ meats. Like my meat is about 55% lean, 45% fat, and there's like 5%, 55, 45, that's 100, so maybe 55, 40, whatever. But has some beef heart in it as well, so I get a lot of organ meat. So I'm getting my vitamins, I'm getting my minerals, I'm getting my aminos. Like I'm getting all that. And I remember reading that because we consume carbohydrates and sugar, that we have, this interesting, chemical on a chemical level. And I'm not going to talk too deep on it because I'm not a biochem expert, but there's a lot to be said for the binding sites and the similarities between certain molecules. And a lot of times we have molecules that try to compete for similar binding sites on organs and on, in cells in the body. And sometimes when there's a lot of competition, you have to eat more volume of foods, and you might have to eat more variety in terms of all these different nutrients because there's more competition for those binding sites. But when you eliminate a huge chunk of these other foods, there's less competition. So certain molecules can actually make it to where they need to go, and then there aren't any problems. And that might be the case. That may be the case with eating meat and eating vegetables, eating carbohydrates. And when you're eating carbohydrates, you are affecting certain binding sites for glucose and for other functions. So, I mean, there's just some interesting concepts. And I've been reading more and more and more and more and more because, like I said, I eat mostly protein and fat and a lot of animal proteins. And pretty much I do have some carbohydrates, but very minimal. And I honestly haven't been doing a lot of vegetables. I do my organ meats and stuff like that. I just don't do a lot of veggies. And I feel great. And I feel like I look great. I'm leaner. I'm pumped. Better than ever. And I'm not younger, and I'm sleeping better. I feel more rested. I feel stronger. My joints feel amazing. I just feel good. So where do we draw the line between what numbers do I have to see on a blood test, or what study do I have to read to justify what makes me feel good? Why is that not common sense? I mean, our ancestors, we hunted fucking animals. Why do you think there aren't any like buffalo or bison? We almost fucking hunted them to extinction. That's how we survived. Anytime you have carbohydrates, what happens, right? You have a lot of vegetable oil. You have chips, or you have candy, or you have fast food. You have something that's high in carbohydrates. You get exhausted, bloated, you feel sluggish, and then you crave it later because you go on this insulin roller coaster where your body is just fucking going insane. Whenever I have a big steak, fatty fucking steak, when I'm eating my grass-fed beef, when I have a lot of it, right? When I eat half a pound to a pound or more, I'm just fucking full. I'm just straight up full. I don't feel sick. I don't feel bloated. I just feel I'm full. I don't want to eat. And I go a long time without eating. I'm just not fucking hungry. I'm just not hungry. It's like, tell me why that doesn't make sense. It just feels good. Why no YouTube chat? I don't know. Who knows? You're on Twitch. Who cares? No idea. I don't know. I'm live on YouTube. I'm showing a viewer, so I'm showing like some people. So let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to why we feel better. And if we're feeling better, why should that be demonized? Well, red meat's the enemy. Fuck no, it's not. No, it's not. Who the hell is ever... I mean, where did that come from? That came from people that were unhealthy to begin with, that were sedentary and smoking and eating garbage meat and just, oh, I get heart attacks. Yeah, you're not exercising or treating your body with any kind of respect. You're eating a lot of refined carbohydrates. People over the past 100 years that have eaten a ton of red meat against doctors' orders and societal standards when everyone was demonizing red meat, all these people were eating red meat, but guess what? They were also eating tons of potatoes and fries and breads and a lot of refined carbohydrates that are going to lead to these things. We've seen it. We've seen it. Diabetes is off the fucking charts. Heart disease, everything is off the fucking charts. We're off the deep end. People are fatter than ever, more unhealthy than ever. And it's not because of the red meat people used to eat. It's all the fucking shit they ate along with it. And now all the stuff that it's cooked in, the vegetable oils and all the other crap, it's not the fat, it's the garbage fat. And it's all the refined and processed carbs that we're eating all the time. From fucking potatoes all the way to breads to milk, all the sugar. We're not talking about raw dairy. We're talking about the fucking shit dairy in the supermarket. You know it. Ah, there you go. YouTube chat. What do you mean, why no YouTube chat? It's right there. There's someone. I was out with a friend the other day who I adore, but he ignorantly said carbs are good for the brain. They fuel you. Actually, fats do that. So as he was eating carbonara pasta, I was like, yeah, only some carbs like sweet potatoes. You don't eat bread and pasta. He was confused. Actually, fats are what the brain's using. The brain thrives on fats. So yeah, you know, your body, you definitely don't need carbs for the brain. I mean, your body creates glucose. Your body creates it through gluconeogenesis. So don't get me wrong. It's not like your body doesn't use glucose anymore. Your body just creates it. Your body creates it from amino acids. So if you're getting protein, your body can create glucose, but it's more like a glucose on demand. Your body needs it. It will produce what it needs. If you're just sucking in tons and tons of fucking sugar and your body's like, what the hell should I do with this? I have no need for it. And then it just packs it away or it puts it somewhere or you shit it out or you try to find something to do with it. That's what the body does. So your body can create the shit that it needs when it needs it. If you have way too much already and it's coming in, your body can't do anything about it, then you can't do anything about it. Turbulent Therapy on YouTube. You seem very knowledgeable in the human body. Yeah. For my part, could you walk me through finding maintenance calories? There's nothing to walk through. I mean, what do you care about maintenance calories? I mean, just eat. Well, if you're not gaining or losing, that's your maintenance calories. How many calories are you consuming now? If you don't know how many calories you're consuming, you need to calculate it. You need to track your body weight and track your body composition and then figure it out. You got to do the work. There's no way you can just calculate and approximate and there's no real way to do that. You got to do it the right way. And if you're eating the right foods, your body will maintain very nicely. Hi, curious why chicken is on your elimination, but turkey isn't. Chicken's a very low quality protein. I never eat chicken. I mean, any kind of low quality food can be eliminated. I mean, if you have a higher quality, look, I mean, when it comes to the elimination, it's not my elimination. It's not my elimination. I didn't create the elimination diet. I didn't create the elimination approach. So the more you take out, the more you can test. So if you leave chicken in or turkey in, then you can't test it because you're not removing it. So the whole thing is whatever you might be sensitive to, you're removing. And that's it. So the more you take out, the more you can test. I usually, like if I were to do it myself, I would only be eating meat. If I were to do it myself, I would go personally, I would go carnivore for a month or two, like completely, and then add in like a carbohydrates, different things and see how I felt, because that's like the real, because then you're not getting any kind of carbohydrates. So you're really testing everything from the ground up. I'm not recommending anyone does that. But I mean, there's so many people that do it completely successfully. I've never heard of anyone that actually went carnivore and had negative health effects from it. It's the craziest fucking thing. It's just the opposite of everything that we've been taught. I mean, that's why I'm so close to full blown doing it. Like I rarely have carbohydrates. I really don't eat that much. I have a friend that told me yesterday that I should eat chicken, not red meat. He said my cholesterol will go up and I'll get a heart attack. Yeah, but that's what they told you. That's what they taught for you. It's just not true. That's not true. I feel worlds better eating wild game. There's also a direct correlation with the obesity and demonizing of fats. Oh, completely. When they started demonizing fats, everything went up. But also, what's even crazier is when they started demonizing fats, the sudden skyrocketing of the use of soybean oil, which is trash. Ignorance in the world makes me want to start a new life underground. Well, Elon Musk already beat you to it. And chicken is grain fed these days. A lot of things are grain fed or it's grain finished. I mean, we do our best, but it's better to go that way towards meat than to just fucking think the opposite. You know, what's interesting is that when it comes to nutrition, if people are going to pick an extreme, what do people mostly choose? When they pick an extreme, they choose vegan. Like, oh, I'm going to do an extreme. You know, I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to go vegan. No one's like, oh, I'm going to eat really healthy. I'm going to go an extreme. I'm going to go carnivore. That's like, why would I eat so much meat? Oh my God. When there's much more health benefits that have been anecdotally tracked in groups and huge communities that show that the benefits of going full carnivore far outweighs the benefits that people see from going vegan. Most people fail doing vegan. Most people fail doing that shit. Why? Because it fucking sucks. It sucks. Oh, I can't wait. I'm starving. My mouth is watering for that tofu. Get the fuck out of here. Said no one ever. I can't wait for that artificial soy pizza. Yum, yum, yum. No, I'm so hungry. Such a long day. I can't wait to sit down to some beans. Some fucking beans and walnuts. I make this amazing mash of pinto beans and fucking walnuts. I mean, I don't know. I know some people love it. I'm just fucking with you. But seriously, I mean, you want a steak. There's something just fucking animalistic and just caveman about a fucking steak. It's so satisfying. And I really do think it's satisfying for a reason. I feel better with it. And I'm going by how I feel and how I perform. I feel fucking amazing. Feel fucking amazing. How can you prove that's wrong? You can't prove me wrong. You can't tell me that it's wrong. Oh, that's not true. Fucking look at me. I feel great. I feel great. I feel great. Better by the day. How do you cook your beef? Enough. I cook it enough. I cook it enough. I missed you for a few months. What happened to your love of sweet potatoes and yuca? I never really ate that much of it. I still made some. I just rarely, I've been letting them go more and more. I just haven't really been having that many. Nothing happened to my love of it. I don't crave them. I don't crave a sweet potato. I just don't crave it. My body reacts well to it. I don't know if I'm ever going to give it up completely, but I'm starting to test it out because I do go for periods of like a few days where I'll just forget to eat sweet potatoes or I don't feel like having a sweet potato. But I never, ever, 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 I never go through a day where I don't want some fucking meat. I'm just saying. I go through periods where I don't feel like a sweet potato today. I just don't feel like having one. But I'm always looking at that beef, even after a workout, like, fuck, I just want to crush some of my beef patties or have a steak and fry. Like after this show, I know it's late. I'm going to go fucking, I got a skirt steak. I'm just going to put in the pan. Boom. I'm just hungry. And that's what I want. I don't want a sweet potato. I don't want a salad. I don't want broccoli. Oh, I'm so fucking hungry. I want broccoli. I don't want that shit. Just saying, just putting it out there. I'm just sharing what I have been doing and my thoughts behind it. And it's completely biased. But it's also biased with just general common sense. I'm actually trying it. I'm one of the few people that's actually putting these things into practice. I'm literally doing it. I'm not thinking about it, asking, what do you think about it? Oh, well, so-and-so tells me not to. My doctor says, and you no, fucking do it. Try it. You don't think it's going to work? Then try it and see if it doesn't. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. You don't know if it's going to work until you try something. David Garrett, from what I've learned, nutrition is definitely a very complex topic because there's so much misinformation out there and what some things that are proven people are either confused or ignorant about. You know, it's when it comes to the information and the misinformation, there's a lot of fucking stuff. There's a lot of chatter, right? There's a lot of yapping out there. And there's a lot of stuff that's been coming, not just misinformation. We're talking information that's been around for a long time. You know, we're talking 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 fucking years. It's almost 2020. And this information, these studies and stuff were done 70 years ago, 80 years ago. Fuck, fam, we don't use anything from 80 years ago. Does anyone drive around in cars that are 80 years old? Does anyone drive around or walk around in pants that are 80 years old? Does anyone use a telephone that's 80 years old? Oh, wait. No, we had a telegraph. No, we move on. Only our nutrition is not being updated. And the ironic thing is we need to update our nutrition to be fucking more ancient. We're not different. We just changed our diet dramatically and it's fucking people up. We don't need to have a study that shows, wow, whatever everyone's been pushing for 50 fucking years is wrong. You can just look at the stats. It's wrong. It's not correct. It's straight up not correct. You can see it. You can see it. They started implementing all this stuff, low fat, all this stuff, and everything just skyrockets. Okay, it's look at the fucking results. Well, fiber, what's the purpose of fiber? Okay, you got two types of fiber. One, and check this out. Fiber, soluble or insoluble. So insoluble fiber acts as like a bowling ball. Let's just talk very general terms with the science stuff. So fiber just pushes through the body, right? It just knocks stuff through the colon and you poop, okay? Inside or soluble fiber slows the absorption of sugar, of glucose. Well, if you're not consuming glucose and carbohydrates, you don't need to slow down the absorption. You don't have to regulate your insulin like that because there isn't. Your body is going through gluconeogenesis and producing the sugar that it needs at the time. So that's not a concern. And meat is more absorbable. It's animal protein, it's animal flesh. You're not digesting the cellulose in the plants. So of course it's going through. And people that eat a lot of like vegetables, tons of vegetables and tons of plants, they're like, well, I crap all the time. I have no issues. It's like, yeah, you're getting rid of all this shit that you're eating that your body is just not fucking using. You're eating and shitting. Just because you're putting more shit into the system, like more stuff, doesn't mean that it's better for you. What about eating the right stuff? And then you don't have to eat as much and you'll be more satisfied and you're going to crap less because you'll absorb more. All right. The bioavailability. Not every food has the same bioavailability. Not every type of protein from every source is as easily or readily absorbed. The best kind is the kind that comes from fucking flesh like that we are. You're trying to fix the tissue that's on your body. Wouldn't it make sense to eat the shit that you're made of so you can have more of it on you? Makes kind of sense. Makes kind of sense. This is, again, just a very logical approach to it. And I haven't found any problem going to the bathroom. Trust me, spend a day with Papa Swolio. I go. I don't go a lot. I'm also not backed up either. If you're not consuming tons of fucking carbohydrates, you don't need to regulate their absorption. You don't need to regulate your spikes in insulin if you're not injecting fucking sugar into yourself by pounding soda and chips and carbohydrates. These are just some of the things that have not been discussed. We're always taught, well, you should eat fiber, a diet high in fiber and all that. Well, yeah, if you're eating other carbohydrates and you need to regulate your blood sugar, then yeah, that's going to help. But if you're eating foods that don't normally get absorbed in your body because you're not supposed to be eating them, yeah, you're going to have to push them through to make sure they come out. Yeah, I don't have my kale shakes either. I just haven't craved them. I don't like those insulin spikes. I don't like all that sugar and veggies. I just never felt good on that, really. Never felt good on it. I have it as one of the recipes just in case people want to try it, but I still encourage all of you to try and see what works best for you. This is just my experience. And here, and the interesting thing is, right, because I've been having some salads, right? And I've been having some sweet potatoes and stuff like that. A little bit, small quantities, smaller than I really have ever had before. And I've been feeling better and more vibrant. My joints have been feeling better. I've been feeling better. I've been feeling better and better. Just reporting the truth. I've been feeling better and better. So what does that mean? Wouldn't I be feeling worse and worse if I wasn't getting enough fiber? And to be honest, fam, a little bit of a salad isn't really like what I was eating wasn't a sufficient by any of like the popular standards for fiber, 25, 30 grams a day. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was one bowl of salad a day. That's not enough in terms of like what people would call vegetables or eating enough veggies. And when I get rid of it completely, I don't miss it an ounce. I don't miss a bite of a salad. I don't miss a fucking bite. Because whenever I would eat a salad, what would I do to the salad? Right? For a salad to be edible or to taste anywhere half decent, it's fucking covered in olive oil and has avocados all over it. So I'm putting just fat all over the fucking salad. Oh, if I have steak, I'll put steak on it. Well, it's not really a salad. It's avocado, olive oil, steak, and then some leaves around it. And that's the only way I'm eating it is in between all that fat. So it's like, what the fuck am I eating this for? I don't even want this. Why doesn't it taste good naturally? If it was really good for the body, wouldn't it taste good plain? We don't eat raw meat, but wouldn't it taste good? And this kind of goes back to what I talk about with kids. You know, kids just don't want broccoli. Kids don't want that shit. Why don't they want it? How come when we're growing, when you would think we need all those things, how come we just fundamentally don't want it? Isn't that weird as like creatures? Oh, kids hate their broccoli, but you have to eat it. Why? I don't know why. Does anyone really know why we just say that? Oh, we have to eat your broccoli. Eat your vegetables. I don't want to. That's the classic. Kids don't fucking want to eat their vegetables. Probably because they taste like shit. But why, if it is so important for growth? Why, if it's so important for growth, why would we naturally try to push it away? Wouldn't we want to consume it? We have no problem being babies sucking on a breast and getting milk. We're not vegans. You're a vegan. If you're a vegan, you realize the only reason you're here is because you fucking had animal sources. You didn't grow up sucking on a soy tit. All right, that's a fucking human. That's a mammal. You weren't vegan from when you were born. The only reason you're here today is because you weren't fucking vegan when you were born. Otherwise, may as well have just thrown you in the river. Think about that shit. I always come back to the kids. Why do creatures? That's like natural selection. You don't want to eat the vegetables and you need them to survive. You don't eat them and then boom, you die. Well, wouldn't we love it? Wouldn't we crave vegetables if we needed that to grow? I don't know. Kids are fickle. But I don't know. I don't really recall seeing kids turn away protein, right? Turn away like animal meats and stuff like that. I know you have to be a certain age, but kind of like once you get teeth and once you stop breastfeeding. You just low-key blew my mind. Not high-key. Do you recommend getting the more expensive organic meats? You know, organic is a weird word for meat. It's more important to get grass-fed and grass-finished. You know, it's tough to say because, you know, there's always going to be a risk of marketing taking over or maybe them being some fancy wording, but you want to get higher quality meats. I'd recommend that if you can handle it. If you can afford it, then get it. You know, I don't buy fancy stuff. I don't buy fancy cars, fancy watches, fancy clothes. I mean, fucking most of you don't think I own a shirt. I rarely wear one here because I turn off the air too, but I wear gym clothes. I don't fucking wear anything else. I think I have a suit, or I did. I wore it until like a hole ripped in the pants. I mean, I don't wear shit like that. So I don't spend money on fancy stuff. I upgrade my equipment for the podcast, for social, for my business, and I buy food. And that's really all I do. That's all I spend money on. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Like for me to spend money on meat is probably like some of you going and buying shoes, the new Jordans or a new fucking Apple Watch or something. I don't give a shit about that. My pediatrician told me my daughter needs the broccoli for fiber. And since she doesn't want to eat it, the doc told me to buy her a fiber probiotic supplement. See, that sounds fucked up. That sounds fucked up. You're giving a baby, a child. She doesn't want to eat the broccoli. Well, let me ask you, what does your daughter, I'm not going to sit here and like overstep and say, oh, that doctor's out of his mind. But I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I mean, obviously that hits home with you, Sarah. What do you, What does your daughter eat? What does she like? How about that? I'm just curious. Do you ever crave something sweet? How do you satisfy that? Do you eat blueberries or strawberries or dark chocolate? Once in a while, maybe dark chocolate, like 85%. No, I don't really crave anything sweet. That's salty. I like olives. I like olives and avocados. I don't really have any cravings for sweet. Not anymore. I used to. Yeah, but here's the thing. I used to always have cravings for sweet. Like, you'll keep having cravings if you're consuming that. If you're eating those types of things, you'll have cravings for them. If you stop eating them and you start eating a lot more like I'm doing, I'm just eating a lot of fat animal protein. I mean, fuck, I'm going to go make some bacon and steak. I'm going to fry the steak in the bacon grease afterwards. I mean, I am so excited for that fucking bacon. It's like candy. I don't need candy. I don't need sugar if I fucking have bacon. Like, I'm going to go have bacon. That's meat candy. That's fucking delicious. LOL, my kids eating what I give them or they go to bed hungry. That's how I was raised. Well, that's just parenting. That's different than nutrition. Same wardrobe here. You're on late. Yeah, late Swole tonight. Yeah, I was going to do it earlier this evening, like late afternoon. I'm like, I just got to push it back. I'm like, fuck it. I haven't done a late night Swole, which is cool. I get some people that haven't seen the show late night live for a while. So every once in a while we come on late. I'll allow it. I'll do it. And then some of you get to join in that don't normally get to see it live. People don't want to spend more money on quality meats, but they'll spend $6 on coffee at Starbucks. Yeah, well, those are the people we're paying for health insurance for. That's right. I'm a distance runner, and contrary to popular practices of carb loading, I eat mostly meat. It's probably 85% meat and then some veggies and fruit. Funny enough, I have energy to spare to lift and do yoga after. Carb loading doesn't help you run. It gives you the runs. Yeah, Aaron, honestly, there's a lot of endurance athletes that don't have carbs at all, like carnivore status, and they're aerobic beasts. So yeah, that's a fucking myth. Big time myth. Big time. Big time. And I think that's a problem I think that's the difference between carnivore and keto is because carnivore, you're getting more protein. Keto is a super high fat. So you might get lightheaded or have lower performance because keto is such high fat. You might not really have the proteins, from the meat necessary for like intense training as much as, for example, if you were more carnivore. But yeah, like no doubt, man. What brand of bacon do you buy? I'll get either 100% grass-fed, I'll get beef bacon, or I'll get something without nitrates and nitrites and stuff like that from the store. You have come a long way, Swolio. We were eating big bags of Sour Patch. Yeah, well, I mean, that was just for fun. That kind of got out of control. That was more of like a gimmick, too. But the thing is, I don't have addiction, so I'll do something and then I leave it. I wasn't doing that for that long, though. But if you push, I mean, that's just an example that when you push your body to consume carbohydrates and you introduce that to your environment, your body is going to respond to that and then expect that and then ask for that. And then you're going to feel like you want that and crave that. But I'm telling you, when I pound food, I'm pounding protein and fucking fat and like steaks, I'm just not hungry. I don't want anything else. I don't want a big thing of fucking ice cream. I don't want it. I'm full because I ate a pound or two of meat. Like, I'm full. I'm done. I love it. I'm just going by how I feel too. And I'm just looking at the results and I'm just, like I said, fam, I'm pushing it further and further down that direction. And it hasn't been getting worse. I'm telling you, it hasn't been getting worse. The more I am just cutting out carbohydrates, the more I'm cutting out, the better I've been feeling. Do you have a preference towards boar bacon or traditional? I'm sure it's not all the same. I try to get the better quality. Beef bacon or pig. I guess pig bacon. I guess that's what it is. I don't know if I haven't seen boar bacon around. I like wild game. I just don't access it a lot. My sister was an Australian rep for cycling, and she did not eat carbs coming up to a race. She was leaner and more prepared. Interesting. Yeah, carb loading was the classic. All right, my daughter Viv, who's 2 years old, and this is the one that wanted supplements, right? For fiber, the doctor wanted to give her supplements. She likes yogurt, chicken, French fries, cheese, loves berries. She ate everything as an infant, but now that she's older, she's definitely more picky. Sounds like she likes her fat. and meat. The fiber issue came up because she only poops every other day. Now, why is that bad? I mean, if she's 2 years old and you're feeding her cheese and French fries and stuff like that, I'm like, you're kind of giving her processed carbs pretty young. I mean, is that really proven that if you're pooping every other day, oh my God, you're having a huge problem? I know, but that's the whole, that's a huge part of all this, is that the research just isn't there. And the medical industry and everyone's been pushing, this is the answer, do this, do that. That evidence doesn't exist. People just run their mouths and then claim things as fact, and it's not true. That's the whole point, is that you gotta put the effort in yourself. And if you take the responsibility for your fitness and your nutrition yourself, you're going to see a lot more progress. I mean, if you take control and take responsibility for your own health, you don't have to wait for someone to put out a public service announcement. Fucking put it into practice. Try it. You want to be carnivore? Try it for a month is going to fucking hurt you? Try it. Try going more, try doing something. Try. You're not going to hurt yourself, but you will fuck yourself up. You're trying to have a low fat, moderate carb and, eat a whole grain diet and all that bullshit that they've been pushing. That's going to fuck you up. That's been proven because everyone's getting fucked up by following that. So as long as you're trying something else, you're going to find something that works, but you won't know until you try it. And don't be afraid. You're not going to die. Yeah, I'm not saying that's good for her body. I'm not saying, I'm not a pediatrician. I'm just saying that there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't really know. I mean, is it good for a kid to try being a carnivore? When can kids really digest a lot of meat? What's this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've been having kids and raising them for thousands of years. The only reason we're here is because children have survived. And what did these people eat? I'm sure they ate meat and fat. I'm sure the kids ate the same fucking thing. What else? They would die. Like, what were they eating? They were feeding the kids vegetables and fiber, but they were eating all the meat. I'm sure they were giving the kids I'm sure the kids were eating the same shit the adults were, and that's why we all grew and survived. What are your thoughts on saturated fats, quantity, and quality? Quality is always important. Saturated fats aren't bad for you. That's my opinion. Those are my thoughts. I mean, saturated fats, like what? From like animal fat? If you're getting grass fed, you're getting high quality, not bad for you. And it's news to me if they are. Instagram's done. I'll turn that off. So, yeah. I mean, it's not something that needs to be avoided. That's been debunked. Saturated fats are not the enemy. Carbohydrates are not beneficial for many, many people. The refined carbohydrates need to go. I'm not saying get rid of your broccoli. I'm not saying get rid of your sweet potatoes. I'm just saying that you need to cut down dramatically the carbohydrates you're consuming, especially the refined and the processed ones. Like, those have to be fucking gone. Get rid of them. And anyone that's watching or listening, this is for you, especially if you've been struggling, if you've been fighting getting rid of some extra body weight, getting rid of that last little bit. I mean, it's important to make this distinction. Taking your health into your own control can make a big difference. And it's up to you to put yourself through the paces. And we'll continue this conversation. It is getting late. I am getting hungrier by the moment, and we've been pumping out for about an hour or so. But great content. We'll continue this. So make sure you tell your friends. Refer them to this episode. Remember, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can catch the podcast, Daily Swole, Swolenormous, everywhere and every platform. So make sure you share this episode, tag someone, and pass that around so you can educate some people and maybe open up people's minds to some other possibilities. But there is no real conspiracy. It's all out in the open, fam. It's all there. It's all out there in the open. And there's a lot of evidence and common sense that needs to be applied to our lives. And it's our responsibility to do it for ourselves. I'm just trying to, I guess, give you permission to fucking question this shit. Right? I'm giving you permission to question some of this stuff. It's okay to question it. I'm a fitness professional. I'm telling you it's okay to test it. I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just going to share with you. If I feel good by what I'm doing and I'm looking good and nothing's aching, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm not saying it's an answer for everyone, but this is what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to start documenting a lot more of it. And I'm just deciding how I want to put that out there, whether it's like a little YouTube, daily, what I'm eating kind of thing. but that's probably something a little bit of a journal thing that I'm going to be putting out. So I'll discuss that more often if that's something you're all interested in. Maybe on the daily, kind of talk about what I've eaten. I mean, we kind of do that anyway, but I'll be more transparent with that because we answer a lot of questions. I think that might help a lot of you, coming through and wondering what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm not promoting what I do to anyone, but I'm sharing, and it's been very successful for me so far. So totally cool. But yeah, share this. Remember, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere. And I will see everyone tomorrow for 819 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, and Beefcast. In the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you so much for joining me for 818. See you mañana. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose, a Papa Swolio. Oh, out.